When I pointed out Bai Kiwi's mistake, I first thought changing the order of the first and second lines did not matter much. But his rude answer hurt my pride. I said back, "How do you know it is not important?" As I spoke, an idea came to me. The 4 stone markers were listed in a special order in the text on the 25 steel plates. Could that order be important? Bai Kiwi just gave me a cold look, ignoring me. I looked at the words he had scratched into the dirt again, focusing on the last line. Suddenly, my heart jumped. Sunlight. Yes, only sunlight could truly be called golden light. Together piercing the golden light must mean the 4 eye holes of the stone markers lining up to let sunlight pass through at a special time, probably during the hours after sunrise, meeting at one point. That's what together piercing meant. Excitement filled me, and I rubbed my hands. But my joy quickly faded as I realized a problem. The positions of the stone markers made it impossible for sunlight to pass through all 4 at the same time. It would need for suns shining from different angles. Discouraged, I fell to the ground. Still, I knew I had come closer to the truth by connecting golden light to sunlight. I looked at Bai Kiwi. Suddenly, he jumped up, looked at the sky with a happy face, then looked at the stone markers. But soon, his happiness disappeared. I could not help but laugh softly. His reaction was like mine. He had clearly thought of sunlight too, only to realize the same impossibility. I teased, "Need for suns, huh?" Bai Kiwi looked surprised, as if shocked I had read his mind. After a pause, he said angrily, "Have you ever seen for suns?" Calmly, I replied, "No, but I have seen many moons." I meant it as a joke, but his angry look made me continue. At Hangzhou's West Lake, the 3 pools mirroring the moon, those hollow bronze pillars reflect the moon's image on the water, turning 1 into 9. In the middle of my sentence, a sudden understanding came to me. I stopped. Bai Kiwi's body moved quickly at the same time. After a shocked second, we both shouted, "Ah," together. I jumped up. "You thought of it too?" He looked at me for a long time. "What I think is my business. Why ask?" I said, "Fine, I did not say my words told you, but we clearly had the same idea at the same time." He shrugged. "We don't know if it's right yet. What is there to argue about?" I thought for a moment. "Unless the treasure is not on Texel Island, this must be the only way," he challenged. "Do you want to share your method?" I smiled widely. "Why don't you go first?" We looked at each other, neither wanting to tell our idea. After 5 minutes, I said, "All right, my idea for finding the treasure's location needs a small tool." Bai Kiwi replied, "Mine too." I suggested, "Let's turn back to back, grab our tools, then show them to see if we are thinking the same thing." Bai Kiwi agreed. Good. We turned away from each other. I reached into my pocket, took out an object, and held it. "Ready?" I asked. "I have been ready," Bai Kiwi said roughly. "All right," I said. "On 3, we turn and show. 1, 2, 3. As I said 3, I turned fast, and so did Bai Kiwi. But just as we were about to show what we had, a very loud boom shook the ground. The sky turned blood red, and Bai Kiwi looked like a person covered in flames. We stumbled, falling to the ground. When I became aware again, lying flat, a deadly red glow covered Texel Island. My body was covered in the same strange color. Looking closely, I saw the light coming from the volcano hole, where dark red lava slowly flowed down. Glowing stones, like burning coals, shot into the sky like fireworks, setting trees on fire where they landed. The rumbling made my face shake. Standing, I heard the radio making crackling sounds with urgent beeps. I rushed to it and turned it on. Old Bai's voice made a loud sound. "Retreat. Retreat now. Kiwi, Wesley, can you hear me? Retreat. Retreat." Bai Su's worried voice followed. "Father, why are they not answering?" I quickly said, "We are fine." Looking at Bai Kiwi, I saw him standing pale and confused. Old Bai shouted, "Get out now." I shook my head knowing he could not see and said, "No, at dawn, we will find the treasure's exact location. If we work together, we could find it in 2 hours. Old Bai interrupted, "Forget the treasure. It is too dangerous to stay." I replied, "That depends on Kiwi." Bai Kiwi moved forward. "No way." I added, "I agree. It is AM now. In 5 or 6 hours, if nothing worse happens, we will find the treasure." Old Bai shouted, "No. I order you to leave now." Song Fu's voice came through. "Old Bai, if they will not go, why force them? This ring of islands might not be safe either." Old Bai said sharply, "Kiwi, do you hear me?" Before I could stop him, Bai Kiwi grabbed a large rock and smashed the radio to pieces, making Old Bai silent. His action was clear. He was not leaving. I stood. All right, let's show what we are holding. He nodded. We held out our fists, then opened them, looking at each other's hands. Both held a small mirror. Baikiwa's face moved quickly. If we are right, this contest is a tie. I laughed. Plenty of chances to compete later, he said. Since we are thinking the same, we should work together. Exactly, I said. The volcano could erupt any moment, or the island could sink. We need to move fast, but we have to wait for sunrise, he nodded. I continued. The Phoenix stone marker's eye hole faces east. Soon after sunrise, sunlight will pass through it. We use a mirror to reflect that light into the sparrow's eye hole, then another mirror to guide it to the tigers, and finally to the dragons. The spot where the dragon's light lands is the treasure's location. Baikiwa nodded. That's my idea too. I glanced around and stopped. On a nearby hill, rows of trees were shaking. As I looked, the huge trees were pulled from the ground, like grass pulled by an invisible hand, and thrown aside. A cloud of white smoke burst from a deep hole on the hill, followed by a very loud roar. Red light flashed, and dark red lava surged out like a boiling pot. It all happened in less than a minute. Baikiwa and I stood frozen, looking. The new erupting hill was close, making our small hill shake violently. Lava slowly flowed downhill, threatening to surround us. I looked at Baikiwa. His face was pale, but he looked at the sky and said, "Now let's test our courage." I had to admire his strength, his stubborn, determined bravery. Baikiwa had some good qualities after all. Not to be outdone, I said, "Bring it on." I checked my watch. Still hours until morning. I ran downhill. The nearby hill's volcano hole was getting wider, lava no longer flowing slowly but spraying out. As I ran, I barely avoided spurts of lava and flying rocks. Reaching the bottom, I saw lava flooding where a stream once flowed, now a fiery river of death. The situation was terrible. In 2 hours or less our hill could be surrounded, with no way to escape. Worse, if the nearby hill was erupting, ours could shoot out lava any moment. I moved closer to the hot flow, the heat hundreds of degrees Celsius making my face wet with sweat, my body burning. I thought about telling Baikiwa to run while we still had a path out. I knew his stubbornness would make him think running away was giving up, something I hated to admit. But was pride worth being trapped by lava? Before I could decide, Baikiwa shouted, "Get up here. Hurry!" His voice became clearer. No need to wait for dawn. I turned and ran up the hill but took only 2 steps when Baisu's voice cut through. "Wesley!" Her cry surprised me. I turned around fast to see her, hair wild, clothes torn, looking very worried as she ran towards the bottom of the hill. I ran to meet her, shouting, "How did you?" Before I could say "Get here," a very loud rumbling sound came from all directions. The ground shook like a boat in a storm, making me lose balance. I fell, then pushed myself up on my elbows, jumping to my feet. Thick smoke covered everything. Through it, I saw 2 glowing, moving masses far away lava, now erupting from many volcano holes. I yelled, "Baisu!" At the same moment, her voice answered, "Wesley," right next to me. We were barely 2 feet apart, but the shaking ground, thick smoke, and very hot air created a strong wind that pulled up trees and flattened grass. If there was such a thing as the end of the world, this was it. In that confusion, Baisu and I, so close, had to shout to hear each other. Hearing her voice, I turned just as she did. We bumped into each other, holding on tightly. Her lips pale, breathing hard, she said, "Run, run." I asked, "What was the path like when you came?" She stomped, very worried. "No more questions. If we don't leave now, there will be no way out." She grabbed me, pulling me to escape. I quickly said, "No, your brother is still up the hill." Baisu shouted, "Brother? Brother!" But the island was swept by strange winds, swallowing her voice immediately, unable to reach the hilltop. I said, "No time to waste. I will get him. You find an escape route nearby." She nodded, squeezing my hand tightly. "Be careful." I turned and ran up the hill, moving so fast it surprised even me. At the top, I saw Baikiwa fixing a light to the white phoenix eye hole. The light shot through, landing where he had dug up the empty chest. He bent down there, using a small mirror to reflect the light into the vermilion sparrow eye hole, where it passed through and hit another spot. Seeing me, he said, "Perfect timing. Quick, reflect that light to the green dragon eye." I have calculated the light only works at this angle through the white phoenix eye. I rushed to his side. "Your sister is here too." He smiled widely. "Good, we need an extra hand," I said sharply. "Forget the treasure. We need to get out now. Bai Kiwei looked up. Why? We are this close to the treasure, I said. On my way up, I saw steam rising from spots on this hill. Bai Su barely made it here. If we don't leave now, we will all burn to ash. He made a mocking sound, ha, and said, I understand. You are scared, aren't you? His attitude and words made me angry. Who is scared? I said back. He smiled in a mean way. Obviously you. Go ahead and run. I could not stand it. I moved fast, hitting his shoulder hard. He moved away, fighting back with a fist to my waist. I thought he was unreasonable. Talking was just wasting time. Knocking him out and pulling him off this doomed island was the plan. My hit was fierce, but I had made a big mistake. I forgot Bai Kiwei was a master of Chinese martial arts. I could not defeat him in a few hits. That was my first mistake. Every second was important for our escape, yet Bai Kiwei and I fought fiercely on top of the hill for over 10 minutes. I was winning, but he kept fighting back, both of us fighting hard. Only another huge shaking, knocking us both down, forced us to stop, looking at each other angrily. Bai Su ran up, seeing the signs of our fight. Her eyebrows wrinkled. You are still fighting? Bai Kiwei smiled in a mean way. Don't worry, dear sister, I did not break your loved one, she stomped. Brother, the valley is filling with lava. There is only one path left, and it will be gone in 2 hours. Are you coming? I controlled my anger. We don't know how bad the rest of the island is. Let's go. Bai Kiwei laughed coldly. Half an hour, 10 more minutes, and I will have the treasure. If you are scared, go. No one is stopping you. Bai Su cried. Brother. He made a sound. What brother? Worry about your precious Mr. Wei. Don't let him lose his courage. That was my second mistake. Very angry, I let this almost crazy man's teasing get to me. I smiled in a mean way. It's a joke on you. Let's see who is scared first, who runs first. Bai Su turned pale, shouting, Have you both lost your minds? I ignored her, jumping to the white tiger stone marker. Reflect the light here, I shouted. Bai Kiwei bent down, adjusting his mirror, ignoring Bai Su's worried cries. I saw a crazy look in his eyes, and regret came to me, but I could not back down. His pride was too much. Soon, the light from his mirror shot through the white tiger eye, landing somewhere else. I rushed to the spot, took out my mirror, and caught the light, reflecting it onward. I angled the mirror, sending the light through the green dragon eye. Each stone marker's eye now had light passing through, fulfilling together, piercing the golden light. I followed the light from the green dragon eye. It stopped on a rock on the hill's only steep cliff. The top of the hill was flat, easy to walk on. Otherwise, Ricardo could not have brought a digging machine up here, nor could Song Jian and I have rolled down to escape. But one side was a very steep cliff, impossible to climb. Seeing the light hit the rock, Bai Kiwei and I shouted and ran towards it. Halfway there, Bai Su moved fast in front of us, blocking our path. I stopped, but Bai Kiwei moved around her, charging forward. She yelled, Are you both crazy? I said seriously, You saw what happened. What choice do I have? Looking up, I saw Bai Kiwei at the rock, holding and shaking it. Either I was imagining things, or the whole hill was shaking. I swore the rock was moving from his effort. I rushed forward, but just as I got close, another very loud rumbling sound shook the whole hill. An unstoppable force threw me to the ground. At that moment, the large rock Bai Kiwei had been holding fell down the cliff. Holding onto the rock, Bai Kiwei let go quickly, but its falling force and the hill's shaking pushed him outward, and he began to fall. I moved fast, grabbing his clothes. Whether my hold was too strong or his fall too fast, the cloth tore. His body kept falling, but my grab slowed him just enough. I reached again, catching his ankle. The effort pulled me forward, almost sending me over the cliff. I held his ankle tightly, not daring to let go, and looked down. Bai Kiwei's face met mine, hanging upside down with no support. If I had not caught him at that critical moment, he would have fallen into the lava flowing like a stream below, glowing dark red. The rock had landed in the lava. If Bai Kiwei had fallen, he would be gone without a trace. His face, looking at mine, was clearly awkward. I shouted back, Hurry! Bai Su moved fast up, and together we pulled Bai Kiwei to safety. He looked at me as if to speak, but said nothing. Then he pointed, yelling, Look! We followed his eyes. Where the rock had stood, a cave had appeared, with stone steps leading down. Bai Kiwei and I looked at each other. No doubt about it, this cave led to Yu Tingwen's treasure. But we had found it at the worst possible time. Bai Su urged, "Go! Go!" Despite her strong words, neither Bai Kiwei nor I answered. She said sharply, "What is wrong with you two?" Bai Kiwei took a deep breath. "Sister, I am fine with whatever Wesley decides." Bai Su looked at me. "Don't lose your mind now." I breathed deeply, the air thick with burning heat and the smell of death. I could not decide. We had fought so hard, through many struggles, to find this spot. The huge treasure was very close. Leaving now was impossible to think of. But the danger was terrible. Every minute increased the risk. Seeing our quietness, Bai Su laughed angrily. "Some men you are. Cannot decide? Want money, lose your life. Want life, leave the money." I said back sharply, "That's not fair. The money is not ours. Kiwei might have a claim, but I don't." Bai Kiwei shouted, "Wesley, don't listen to her." Bai Su said sharply, "Brother, what nonsense. Think of father, how would he bear losing you at his age?" Bai Kiwei replied, "Father is a legend. He can handle anything." Their arguing at this important moment was both annoying and silly. I interrupted, "Do you have time to argue? Why not check the cave?" As I spoke, another violent shaking shook the hill. Standing at the cave's entrance, we lost balance and fell inside. We fell, rolling down 17 or 18 stone steps to the bottom of the cave. I stood up first. Bai Kiwei laughed, "We are here now, so let's make the best of it." "Sister, no protests." Bai Su sighed. Bai Kiwei and I looked at the small stone room, about 10 feet square, built of large stone blocks. It held nothing but 3 large cloth bags in a corner, with no clear ways out. Even though we were underground, we still felt the hills shaking, like being trapped in a shaking cage. We braced ourselves, trying to stay upright. Bai Su shouted, "Nothing here. We need to go now." Bai Kiwei, surprised, said quietly, "Nothing? It cannot be nothing." I was also confused. Everything pointed to this being the treasure's hiding place, yet all we found were 3 bags. Then it hit me. Those bulging bags, why assume they did not hold the treasure? It did not have to be in a chest. It could be in bags. As I thought this, Bai Su grabbed my shoulder, pulling me out. Bai Kiwei, standing by the bags, gave a bitter smile. "Wesley, already in trouble? Not even married, and she is telling you what to do." Bai Su said sharply, "Brother, enough with your nonsense." As she pulled me back, I pointed at the bags, yelling, "Kiwei, the bags." He did not understand what I meant. Hearing me shout, he kicked a bag, risking our lives for 3. He stopped in the middle of his sentence. Bai Su and I stopped. The bag rolled, its seams breaking. Bundles of US dollars spilled out. Bai Kiwei grabbed 2 bundles, saying loudly, 500s, thousands, large amounts. I stood surprised. We had expected a huge amount of money but had not thought of 2 things. First, that it would all be cash, probably Yu Tingwen changing treasures to dollars during his journey south. Second, the very large amount, piles of $500 and $1,000 bills, hundreds per bundle, filling 3 huge bags. Only a bank vault manager could imagine such a huge amount. We looked, very surprised, for about 10 minutes, almost forgetting the danger. Bai Su snapped us out of it. Move, before finding the treasure. We had held on to our efforts, not wanting to give up. Now, her shout shocked us. Bai Kiwei put a bag over his shoulder. "One each, hurry, with the treasure found. Taking it or leaving it made no difference." Bai Su did not protest. Each of us lifted a bag about $15 to $20 million in cash. Without our strong martial arts training, we could not have carried them. We quickly climbed out of the cave, back to the hilltop. But before we could go down, we stopped looking. In the half hour since we had fallen into the cave, Texel Island had changed terribly. Our hill had no trees, thick smoke rising everywhere. Below, dark red lava moved, blocking almost every path. Bai Su stayed calmest. "Follow me." I found a path earlier, it might still be open. We ran after her, jumping over wide cracks with steam coming out. At the bottom, lava flowed like train tracks, crossing each other but strangely neat. If it were not life-threatening, it would have been a beautiful sight. We jumped over lava streams 3 to 5 feet wide, feeling like pancakes on a hot plate. 5 minutes later, Bai Su pointed. There, we saw a raised dirt path winding forward, 4 or 5 feet above the ground, not touched by lava. Very happy, Bai Kiwei cheered and jumped onto the path, running forward. Bai Su and I followed. I asked, "Where does this lead?" Still annoyed, she said sharply, "Don't ask me. If we are trapped, it's not my fault." I sighed, thinking if we could not escape, we were going to die. No point in worrying, better stay hopeful. I smiled widely. Once we are off, what is the first thing we do? Knowing what I meant, Bai Su made a sound and ran ahead. Soon, we reached the end of the path. Looking forward, we relaxed. The ground ahead was green, not cracked. Trees were fine. We ran fast towards the shore, becoming more excited. We were about to escape Texel Island not empty-handed, but with Yu Tingwen's huge money. But then, a massive lava flow blocked our path, impossibly wide. The ground's shaking was now very strong. We were not walking but being pushed forward by shaking, stumbling. The lava blocked our way. We ran along its edge, hoping to go faster than its slow flow and pass its front. We ran a few dozen steps and reached the end of the lava flow. By then, we were completely wet with sweat, drops running down our faces, making our vision blurry. Wiping it away was useless, more sweat came immediately. We went around the lava and ran towards the sea. Breathing hard, I said, "Kiwei, if we don't get off this island, it's my fault," Bai Su said sharply. "What does it have to do with you?" Her anger was aimed at her brother. Bai Kiwei stayed quiet, running forward. We stayed on high ground, and soon the sea came into view. Bai Kiwei led the way, climbing onto a small hill and making a triumphant shout. We were just 100 yards from the shore, reason enough to celebrate. Bai Su and I joined him on the small hill, stopping. We looked at the sea, wanting very much to escape Texel Island with our 3 bags of cash. But everything changed very quickly, as if the world flipped in a moment. A violent shaking hit, followed by a very loud roar. We fell to the ground. When we stood, we saw our small hill was now an island, surrounded by a 10-meter wide ring of lava. The grass and bushes on the small hill turned yellow very quickly. The very hot heat of death, the incredibly strong winds, left us shocked, not sure what to do. The sea was right there, calm and inviting, but we were trapped in a hot, melted cage. Thank goodness we had stopped on the small hill, otherwise, we would already be swallowed by lava. Bai Kiwei turned to me. Bai Su's voice, strangely calm, broke the silence. "Same choice, money or life. Pick one." Bai Kiwei asked strongly, "What does that mean?" Bai Su shrugged, dropping her bag. "These 3 bags of cash can be our stepping stones." Bai Kiwei and I stopped, very surprised. But the small hill had no rocks. Her plan was our only choice. Bai Kiwei yelled, "No," but Bai Su threw her bag out, landing a few yards away. I jumped onto it, throwing my bag farther. Bai Kiwei made a wild cry, jumping to join me on the bag, then throwing his own ahead. Bai Su followed. Using the 3 bags as stepping stones, we crossed the 10-meter lava river. We ran 12 steps, then looked back. The 3 bags were covered in huge flames, probably the most valuable fire in history. We wanted to stay, to mourn, but could not. We ran fast to the shore and swam to the ring of islands. We escaped Texel Island with nothing. 2 days later, our group reached Manila. 4 days after that, we returned home. As we got off the boat, Songfu patted my shoulder. "I promised you a secret. Here it is. I have been the main international drug dealer these past few years." I stood shocked. He continued, "I am done with it. In a month, tell the police. You can take credit for breaking down the network." We shook hands tightly. I said, "Wishing you and Red happiness." He and Red did not wait, flying straight to Tokyo together. Back home, old Bai went back to his hidden life. Bai Kiwei and I became friends again, but he and Bai Su still argued. Their arguments were about Texel Island, one saying they could have saved the money if listened to, the other saying ignoring him saved their lives. I stayed neutral. Not offending either was wise. Bai Su was almost my fiancé. Who would dare go against their fiancé and her brother?